So I watched it plenty of times just to make sure like I knew everything that's going in there.
Okay. Well, I haven't watched the last few seasons of South Park, but I do get Integrity Farm and um so
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much you need to know. I'm glad they're not doing the whole congruity thing anymore because
the continuity stuff.
continuity, yeah.
Oh,
Because the continuity sucked. I hated it. It was
okay.
dumb. They kind of started that when they first made Integrity.
Yeah. Well, this episode to me seems a little bit of a I don't know. It's been a while since I watched the new episodes, but like South Park episode, but this one felt pretty just slapped together. I was pretty disappointed.
I felt that on the second half of it. Like the first
Definitely
half of it,
the
I thought it
second
was
half,
pretty
yeah.
good, and then the second half of it, I was like, the second half seems like they kind of just slapped it together.
Yeah, like usually with South Park, they're pretty good with like having a story, you know, um, a story and have like a resolution to that, and they kind of did,
Like-
but not really.
Like a connecting arc.
Yeah, I felt like, say, like if you just take the first half, right? I would expect the second half to include more of Mickey Mouse,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Shit, what was the teacher's name that played Trump?
Mr. or Mrs. Garrison, however you want
Yeah,
to say it.
I guess Mr. Garrison.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it was just kind of tossed in there for like political commentary,
Right.
and there's no really just appears out of nowhere in the middle, and then he appears out of nowhere again at the end.
Yeah.
The cops kind of were like, I thought they would like commit them to be more teachers, but at the end they just flipped them.
They could have made the cops a lot funny. I think the angle that they took with the cops was funny, and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
But I felt like they could have done with the cops. They could have got the cops a little more involved in the episode and been funnier.
Yeah, I did.
But just being like really, there was only like 2 moments of the cops that were like funny. Like, okay, when Token got shot, I felt a laugh. It's like, of course, Token gets shot.
It's not even that he gets shot. The cops are like, we got him.
Got him. We got him. That's hysterical. But then, and then the second part where they're like gunning down all the kids and shit, and they're like, "We got a runner," and he just like dropped his snowball, and Kenny's running away. And,
I didn't like how like Kenny was bare like they just kind of toss him aside and be like, hey, look, Kenny died.
Yeah.
But like it's not even like he wasn't even like part of the group in this episode. He was just like another,
which isn't unheard
side
of.
character.
They sub out some of the main characters for like Butters or
I guess
Clyde or some other characters.
Dude, one of the characters I noticed looked exactly like my Facebook avatar.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually my. Do you see it's my YouTube avatar too. It's on right now. You see it? Is this avatar?
Okay, yeah, I see him.
I'm gonna flip this.
Can you point him out in the channel?
Yeah, I did.
Or can you point it out in the episode?
Yeah. I flipped it so people should see it, but yeah, they made a character that looked almost exactly like that. He was just wearing black. The hair was different, but he was wearing black and the same glasses.
Huh. The hair is a big proportion. That's like 30% of the whole character, but
we got the same shaped head.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but
the Butters part was pretty.
What the weed was supposed to be, you understood like his weed special, his Integrity Farm special was supposed to be like South Park's.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious at all.
Okay, I was like, I was just making.
He looks straight into the camera and he's like, Integrity Farm special, and then he was like you think it's like a sellout or whatever to make a special. You think people don't care about specials in this pandemic, and then or whatever, and and then bam, South Park special.
So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that reference. That's what I like about South Park is that they do little things like that.
Yeah, the first half was a lot more entertaining. Like that special thing joke was funny. Then we got the Mickey Mouse and like I guess it was I don't know what it was supposed to be like shoot, what was that Contagion kind of montagey with the music and sounds all epic when with the flashback with
too with China and stuff like that.
yeah.
I don't
With Randy?
I don't recognize the montage music.
Have you watched Contagion?
It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been like it's been
pretty much it's
Contagion came out.
The end of Contagion pretty much is the same thing. So you watch the whole movie and it's just like them dealing with
and
like
it has a montage on how the virus was made.
yeah. It like it follows the bat. So it starts with a bat and it's like epic music and it's just not epic I guess but super intense and it just shows the bat and it's shit and then the pig ate it and the pig got sent over to the restaurant and just shows every step of how the virus started and all the way to patient zero, which was Gwyneth Paltrow's character. I forget her character name, but
yeah, I don't know. It's been too long for Contagion for me.
Yeah, but it just shows the whole process. But yeah, anyways, they kind of riffed on that, and it was just pretty. But they played it more for comedy. It was, I thought it was pretty hilarious. Randy's face the whole time, he's just like,
yeah. Randy. I don't know if I was a big fan of the idea of Randy being the patient zero. Like, I think there's enough already going on with Randy. Him being patient zero, I thought was unnecessary.
Yeah, I didn't really like. I guess though they had to make him do that, so like the whole joke with the mustache and
they didn't even have to do the mustache.
Jerking off in the.
But they
I didn't think that was funny. It didn't seem like a South Park thing to do.
No, it was very gimmicky.
Yeah,
like we're gonna give everyone Randy mustaches, and I was like, okay, I guess. But
yeah, I didn't think.
Do you have to like? Is that really? So
yeah,
and then the Karen thing at the end, she smoked. She's like, I got it. I was like, okay, I get it.
But it wasn't that funny either.
It wasn't that funny.
Like,
it really wasn't that funny. I enjoyed the school stuff. And maybe like some of it is not funny because different parts of the country are experiencing this pandemic in different kinds of ways. So, like for example, we don't really relate to the kids going back to school, and stuff like that.
I got all that. I got Cartman's mentality and I got Stan's mentality. Right. I even got Butter's mentality. Like, all that made sense, but I think all the jokes kind of just landed really flat. So like I really didn't like how Cartman just stopped being Cartman.
I thought they did Cartman fine.
Really?
Most of the episode,
I didn't get why he handed back the that stupid armadillo thing. Well, I don't know what they called it.
The chinchilla thing. I don't know.
It doesn't seem like a Cartman thing to do.
Yeah. Usually, I think even Kyle's like, really, and it was like, so no follow up with that. Like Kyle thinks it's weird, and there's no follow up at all with it.
Yeah,
and then Mr. Garrison comes and burns it, and it's like, what? Okay.
I felt like if they just had Cartman go and burn the guy, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
But it would have.
It was necessary for that guy to burn it.
It would have been less random.
Yeah.
It would have been like, okay, there you go, that's Cartman.
Yeah. No, I get Stan. I thought the Stan thing was spot on. For everyone who's like, oh yeah, I'm good, but then like they're kind of like secretly just fucked up.
Yeah.
And then I get Cartman. I thought they did Cartman pretty well for the most part, as like people who are totally just taking advantage and having a great time, but like pretending like that.
I love his stick, dude.
says 6 at the end. Just like, just...
It's just, when he puts his mom back, I'm like, ah, that's pretty funny. But then when he was like running down the street to get over to Kyle's house and just
oh, I know.
yeah. Oh yeah, so the
You're
first
at my
half
house
was
hanging
way
out with
better.
me right now, and he's like, oh my god, those sons of bitches! I can't let them do this. I wish that they would have followed it up more into that story.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it definitely felt like they focused a
of
lot
them
more
fighting
on.
the COVID, and then them fighting like the restrictions, and Cartman wants to keep the restrictions. Kyle wants to release them, you know, and Stan being somewhere in the middle. I think that would have been a better
Yeah, that was a
storyline
lot more
arc.
interesting. I think they
Yeah,
could
I
have
thought that
just
was a
cut
lot
out pretty much everything with Randy. Like maybe keep a little bit, but like
he
it
just,
felt like he was 50% of the show, and it was boring.
well, Randy has a huge base, and that's kind of a shitty part because then they feel obligated to make most of the show about Randy,
Yeah.
and I just don't like it. I mean, look at when they advertised for the Pandemic special, half the advertisement was Randy.
Well, because half the episode was Randy, so that only made sense.
Yeah.
But I think they
Well, I
could
mean,
have
you
made
could
it at
have had
least.
just like Randy's 20% of the episode be like, 50% of the advertisement still.
Yeah, but usually I feel like they better weave the story together. This one at the end, the story just kind of come together, and it was only because where did the chinchilla even come from? Randy just brought it out, right? Because he stole it.
They found on the news. It showed that they found out that it wasn't about it was that chinchilla thing.
No, but then like Randy stole it, right? And at the
He
end,
went to the lab where they were all testing it, and he was like dressed as like a thief. And then they're like, "What are you doing here?" And then he's like,
yeah,
"Oh, I am."
South Park was always
And I'm working on a pandemic special or something. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
South Park was always stupid, but not like that stupid.
But it was always smart, stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
it was clever.
it was you could tell they were being stupid on purpose.
That one, it just felt like,
They were
I
being
guess
stupid, and it was because of other reasons.
they were just stupid. They just didn't question Randy at all. Randy didn't even try. Like, if he had a lab coat on, I'll be like, okay, at least
Like if
he tried.
he was just like in his normal Randy clothes, but just with like a lab coat on, it would have been
Yeah.
funny. Right?
Yeah, but I'm just like, these doctors, I don't know. It just felt like too stupid for South Park.
Yeah,
Usually they're a bit more clever.
I agree. I would like to see the kids more involved. Like Jimbo, it wasn't necessary. I don't think. I mean, I guess because someone has to have the COVID, but like getting all the kids involved, like Wendy and stuff like that, getting involved would have been cool.
I thought it was cool where all the parents, I thought it was going to be more of a parents episode because they had all the parents in there. And they didn't really do much. They had the Zoom call, and then they like all fought, and that was it.
I enjoyed Cartman's Zoom call in the morning when he woke up early in the episode.
Yeah.
He just like puts up the stick like in front of the webcam. Or you could see when I watched it like the second time when he's doing his stuttering, like you can see Cartman, or you can see Kyle at the bottom right, just like pissed off. Like he fucking knows what Cartman's doing.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get with Butter's dad. I forgot his name, Mr. Scotch.
Mr. Scotch.
Yeah.
Butterscotch.
Why did he Why was he all like at the beginning? He was all like yelling at people to wear masks. It's like that's not a chin diaper, and at the end he was just wearing like a chin diaper. I didn't get that.
Because I think it's
everyone just stopped caring.
Everyone just stopped giving a shit. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get that. I was just like, why did he flip?
I thought the chin diaper thing was funny and true because so many people you see with chin diaper, and you're just like, why even have it at all?
The mailman who's like, excuse me, sir, do you mind putting on a mask?
Yeah. If you're getting it closer, can you put on your chin diaper? It's like, I like
um,
how Randy with his cane and he's like walking up the stairs to like see Jimbo. He's all fucked up because he's been jizzing in all the weed and shit.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That was funny. Like they did that
It was
multiple
funny. It was what came
times.
out. It was, I definitely expected too much out of it.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I didn't expect too much. I mean, for what we got, yeah, but like, I really think it did miss the mark as a good South Park episode. I expected it to be like South Park at its A game because it's a special, but it really did feel like they just kind of slapped it together.
yeah, it felt like kind of where South Park is at right now. They're at
Yeah.
this. They're at this. Still at this middle point, you know, where they want to make changes, but are they like still know how to do their old stuff. And I just feel like if they still stick to their old stuff, like everything I say like season 8 to like season 20 is probably South Park's best stuff, and I'd say that's where their peak is, somewhere around 16, in my opinion. Like I would say the Game of Thrones stuff was probably somewhere around its
Dude,
peak.
I love that. I expected
Yeah,
that to be. Actually, I drew
yeah.
reference to the Game of Thrones stuff because, the episodes were longer, or at least it connected, so it felt longer.
Hmm.
Um, and I consider that like a special for them because it was to market their game, The Stick of Truth.
Yeah.
And it was to riff on Game of Thrones too. So I don't know. I kind
Yeah,
of
so I
compare it to
say that's
that,
where their
and
peak is. So I think I could see them still kind of teetering, trying to get back into that space. But they're also, it seems like they're trying to
hardly
play to their
political.
base. Like, no, it's not even political. They've always been pretty good at um, being political um, and being funny. Like, for example, my favorite political episode of South Park ever is when you have the rednecks um, versus the no war and the peace people, and then they end up singing the song "I'm a little bit of rock and roll and I'm a little bit of country" at the end of the episode. um, and it was like no war, no peace, or one side wanted peace, one side wanted war. It was political for, I think, during the George Bush era, and the kids had to write. I think at the same time, Cartman has to go back in time, and or he tries to have a flashback to like the 1800s because they have
uh,
to write their homework is they have to write a, what's it called, essay on the founding fathers.
dude, I
And
don't remember an episode, but from what you're saying, it already sounds hilarious. Sounds like South Park.
oh, it was hilarious. They try to hire Mexicans to write their essays. And what the reason why they had to hire or the reason why they had to write essays in the first place is because there's protests going on, one for war, one for peace, and Mr. Garrison said, "Oh, there's protests going on, so you kids are have the day off to go protest if you guys want." And so they go and walk out, and then the protest is right there, and then like the news goes up to the kids and it's like, what do you think the founding fathers would think of all this protesting, stuff like that? And then they're like, the founding who? And like both sides of the protest just go like up in flames because these kids don't even know who the founding fathers are.
uh,
And so Mr. Garrison gets pissed and he tells them, you have to write essays on the founding fathers. So Cartman tries to go have a flashback or gets knocked out and go into a flashback. And he like drops a toaster in the bathtub. He has like them knock him out with like a rock. Like he does all these like typical movies where people get knocked out and have a flash. It's not even just a flashback. It's like
like a vision
a
type thing.
vision. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So like something happens to them and they get knocked out and they like have this life or death experience back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Oh, I think what ends up doing is he DVRs the History Channel and then drops the set-top box into the bathtub or something with him, and then it takes him back to the 1700s. He kills like Paul Revere.
That sounds wild, right? That
It's
sounds
funny.
like South
It was
Park.
super political,
Yeah.
but the entire episode was hysterical. And they've done
But
other things like that where I thought it was pretty funny.
this one's lame though. I mean, if so,
Kind of
how you
lame.
summarize that, right? It makes it sound like a good episode. But like, how would you summarize this? You would just be like, Randy was patient zero. He jizzed in weed, and the kids
He just did
wants to
weed
go
for the
back to school.
cure, and then everyone grew mustaches when they smoked his weed.
Yeah, it's just like very like
And
nothing
then
happened.
it was like that was like one half of the episode, and the other half was Cartman wanted to stay home all day.
Butters
Stan
want
wanted
to
things
build a
go back to
bear.
normal. It wasn't even Butters. It was like Stan wanting to go back to build the bears, but using Butters as the excuse.
Yeah, that's pretty much
And
it. It's like,
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
pretty
I
much
guess
the
the cops
episode.
went crazy, but
And then the cops lost their jobs, and so they became the teachers, and then they like shot people when things were going their way. So I thought that was funny, but I thought that part was funny with the cops, but I mean, it wasn't like highlight of the episode. You know, the episode didn't really keep my interest like a normal South Park episode would.